Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. So in today's video I am going to be talking you through my favourite products and a few techniques that I do for dry skin. So I have incredibly dry skin. I know it might not look it on camera because I've literally just finished my skincare routine, but I'm going to touch on that as well. But there are certain steps that I do and certain products that I use and techniques, etc. that I do to make my makeup look as good as I can for as long as possible on my incredibly dry skin. And of course that starts with a skincare routine, and I can't delve into a skincare routine in this video and talk about the makeup, so I will link up here a skincare review video that I did recently where I mentioned this product here, and I have to give it another shout out because the skin prep is so important. And this is the Beauty Bay 5% squalene and grapeseed oil serum hybrid. That's what the packaging looks like, and I have just applied this like 10 minutes ago. I've really given it a chance to sink in. That under makeup as like your last step before you go in with your makeup products is absolutely beautiful. It preps the skin so nicely, sinks into any dry patches, leaves your skin feeling so lovely and hydrated. And like I say, I leave it about 10 minutes, let it really sink in, and then I go in with my makeup products. There's so many primers that claim to be hydrating, and so many of them are, but really that is like a trial and error, whatever works on your skin. I would say that if you have dry skin, you want to add in some of that glow, and that's where this product comes in. This is the Collection Gorgeous Glow Filter Finish. I have this one and I also have the e.l.f. Halo Glow. At the minute this colour is just a little bit better for me, so I like both. Both are fantastic, they work in very similar ways. This colour is just a little bit better for me, so I like to apply this on the high points of the face, where you would put a highlighter, where you want to look glowy. When I very first got this, I applied it all over, but I found that then it just looked a little bit sweaty, so I like to be a little bit more targeted with it now and apply it liberally still. I still like to wear a lot of this, but just on the high points, and then I blend this out with a brush. And when you blend this in, you could absolutely just wear this on its own. It's no coverage, it's not going to cover anything, but it just gives the most beautiful glow to the skin to make it look like you're not as dry as you are. It really adds a beautiful glow into the skin, makes you look really radiant but not sweaty. If you apply it correctly, if you apply it like this, it doesn't look sweaty, it just looks glowy and so pretty under makeup. I will just clip my hair out of the way before I move on because it's already annoying me. So for foundation, a trick that I like to do is mixing in a Polyglutamic serum into my foundation. The one that I love is from the Inkey list, the Inkey list Polyglutamic acid. This is, I've had this forever, it's absolutely huge, 30 millilitres. I can't even tell you how long I've had this, and I use it pretty much every single day. So what I like to do, and this is the Sleek In Your Tone 24-hour foundation, I like to put 1 and a bit pumps of the foundation on the back of my hand, and then I take 1 pump of the Polyglutamic acid, put that on the top, and then I take an eyeshadow brush and I take the non-brush end, the handle end, and I mix that all together on the back of my hand, which takes down the coverage of the foundation, but it makes it so hydrating. I do this even with hydrating foundations. The coverage is incredible. It gives you a little bit less coverage obviously than if it was just by itself, but this just makes it so soft and so glowy and so hydrated, makes your skin look more hydrated because it has that serumy texture, but it also is hydrating your skin because polyglutamic acid is a fantastic ingredient for hydrating incredibly dry skin. So I take all of that up off the back of my hand with the brush, and once it's all on, I take a sponge and I just pick up, sort of swipe over the back of my hand, pick up whatever I've got left on there and start bouncing it in. So obviously using a damp sponge, again, will add more hydration, will add more hydration to your skin as you use it. It does, again, it does sheer it out a little bit, but it gives the most flawless coverage. It blends out makeup instantly, pretty much. It takes no time at all, blends everything out so beautifully. These are the only sponges that I really use now. These are the Eco Tools Bio Blender. It says Plant Me on it. You can put these in your compost bin and they fully like break down in 30 days, which is incredible because obviously normal beauty blenders are made out of plastic. So having one that just breaks down within 30 days is amazing. So now that that is all blended out, my skin is feeling so lovely and hydrated, but that combination is just beautiful. It's so glowy. It looks like my skin is so beautiful and hydrated. I love it. So for concealer, again, there's lots and lots of concealers on the market that claim to be hydrating and perfect for dry skin and all of these things, and I've tried a few. Some of them I think aren't great for dry skin. However, this one I don't think is actually marketed for dry skin, but it's absolutely beautiful. This is the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eyeshadow Primer. This is like a cream concealer, just in a little pot. You need the tiniest little bit of this. So I'm taking a brush, swirling in so lightly in there, and that will be enough for both eyes. This concealer is, first off, incredibly full coverage, but because of that like creamy, it's almost like an emollient texture. It almost feels like an eye cream that you would get in a pot. It's the most incredible texture. I hear nobody talking about this concealer. I think it's absolutely incredible. This is actually the concealer that I wore on my wedding day. It is absolutely beautiful and it lasts so well. Obviously, if you have dry skin, you probably have quite a lot of dryness around your eyes. I know I certainly do. So having this extra layer of lovely hydrating concealer around the eye area is so comfortable and looks incredible. So once I have like tapped this over and blended it in with my brush, I then go over the top again with my sponge just to make sure the edges are blended out and everything is really nicely blended and the concealer is blending in nicely with that foundation. Then onto bronzer. Again, I've tried lots and lots of cream bronzers and so many of them don't really blend out very nicely on like very dry skin. I feel like they sort of grab a little bit funny, but the e.l.f. Putty bronzer is my absolute all-time favourite. I have used this for years. I mean, this is not my first tub and I'm already nearly at the end of it. It's so good, blends out so beautifully. I like to do this with a brush, and I like to do it with this brush in particular, the Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques. Fantastic for cream bronzer, cream blush, etc. So I'm going to just stamp this on both sides. Also around the top of my forehead, sort of do contoury bronzing and then blend it out in large circular motions. And obviously adding in all of these cream layers will leave your skin feeling lovely and hydrated. Adding in powder products will of course leave your skin more set, but if you have incredibly dry skin then you don't need that. Like, I don't feel like I need to set my makeup a lot of the time. Sometimes I do. Sometimes if I'm, you know, having a very long day or whatever, I do like to add in a powder to set everything down. But a lot of the time, I just don't feel like I need it. Any hydration is instantly sucked up into my skin, so I don't feel like I necessarily need to set it. For blush, I have a few favourites here that I'd like to talk about. Where I feel like bronzers, there aren't that many that I truly feel very passionately about, apart from the putty bronzer. There's a few blushes that I feel quite passionately about, and I want to talk to you about them all before I decide which one of these I want to use. So, the e.l.f. Putty Blush, same as the bronzer, absolutely fantastic, so intensely pigmented. I have a few shades, but this one here is Turks and Caicos and is the most incredible, like, orangey toned blush. So pretty in summer. Again, same as the bronzer, blends out really beautifully. So pigmented, but blends out to look so natural. Feels really nice and hydrating. Then we have the Profusion Blush Hour Soft Matte Liquid Blush. Don't be scared of this saying that it's soft matte. It is a liquid. It does go on very liquidy. It has this little nub to apply the product. However, I like to dot this onto the brush rather than dotting this directly onto my face, just because I feel like my skin will instantly suck up all of the hydration that's in that. And then the last one that I'd like to talk about is the Beauty Bay Liquid Blush. These are incredible. These are my newest blush addition, but absolutely amazing. Again, so pigmented. I have all 4 of them out on my shelf here. So pigmented, so blendable. Again, really nice and hydrating. They do have more of a soft matte finish, even more so than the Profusion one, but blends out so beautifully, leaves your skin just looking sort of airbrushed and flushed. But I think I'm going to use the Profusion one today because I want to show you how I like to apply it. So I take a Real Techniques Expert face brush, another one, not the one that I just used for my bronzer, and I like really shake this up because it's a liquid. It does need a big old shake, so shake it up, and then I dot this over the top of the brush. I feel like I just get a little bit more control doing it this way, and it just seems to blend out a little bit easier. I've done it both ways, but I tend to like it this way a little bit more, and I just tap it over the cheeks really lightly on both sides, and that will be enough pigment for me for both sides. And then again, I just sort of keep tapping over and blending all of this in until I'm happy with how it's blended. At this stage, you could again go over it with that sponge to make sure that it's really blended in. You just got that extra reassurance. I don't feel like I necessarily need to do that. I like how this looks just tapped on with the brush. So at this stage, if you are feeling a little bit shiny down the centre, these are all, of course, very hydrating products, and my skin is very dry, but I feel like I just want to dial back this shininess a tiny little bit, and I love this product. This is the Revolution IRL powder. It's got a pressed powder in the top and then a loose powder in the bottom. I like to just take either. Honestly, I feel like they both look the same, and I take a Real Techniques setting brush, a teeny tiny little setting brush, and I just tap very lightly into either of the powders and just swipe it precisely where I need to just dial down that shininess a little bit, and already I feel like this just looks a little bit more perfected. It still looks glowy and it doesn't feel dry at all. It feels beautiful, but just a tiny little bit, just for that little bit of reassurance that this makeup is not going anywhere. Because even though I have dry skin, it does get a little oily, and I am leaving the house today, so I just want a little bit down the centre so that I don't look too shiny. And I feel like using a smaller brush like this rather than a big powder, like traditional powder face brush, this just targets the powder exactly where you feel like you need it and just keeps it precisely where you want it to go, rather than covering over all of this gorgeous glow that we have worked on the outside of the face. I feel like having just a little bit down the center really just makes it look so fresh still, but still set. So in terms of brows, I don't feel like I necessarily do anything different because of my dry skin with my brows, so I'm just going to go in with the MUA Brow Define Micro Precision pencil and the e.l.f. Wow Brow in deep brown. So I'll be right back when I can use my words again and I've got some brows on my head. Okay, brows are on and onto the eyeshadow. I don't feel like I necessarily do anything different because of my dry skin. However, there are a few products that I really rate very highly, and I feel like it just elongates the wear of my eye products. So first up is the Profusion No Budge eyeshadow primer. I find that when I use this, it just makes everything sort of smoother across the eyes. So if you have any dryness or anything, this will like smooth over it, and then your eyeshadow really grips onto the top of it. So using any sort of, this is the only one that I tried, by the way, but this is a really nice one. So I will take just a really small amount of this and I will just tap it out across the lid with a big fluffy brush. So the concealer that we used is technically an eyeshadow primer as well. However, I feel like this is just another layer of like tackiness to really grab onto the pigment in the eyeshadows really nicely and just makes it last better, I find. So what I'm going to do is, because I use so many different eyeshadow palettes that I don't feel like any of them are necessarily better than the next for dry skin in particular, I'm going to just go in with this one here. This is the I Heart Revolution Mini Chocolate Shadow Palette in Raspberry Fool, and I'm just going to use the two matte shades just through the crease to make something a little bit smoky and a little bit pink, and then I will be back with another product for the eyes that I think is beautiful for dry skin in particular. So that is those two matte shades just blended right out over the eye, and then I want to talk to you about this product here. So this is the Colourpop Supershock Shadow, and this is in the shade Ripple, and just look at that colour. So I feel like any sort of liquid eyeshadow or cream base eyeshadow will always add just a little bit of hydration to the eyes, and also that element of shimmer and that element of reflect again adds to the overall glow, and this is absolutely beautiful. I've been using this shade in particular an absolute ton. I can't stop wearing it. Absolutely incredible. So I take a little bit just on the end of my finger and I tap it over the lid, and these blend out so easily just with your finger, but they add the most incredible sheen, the most incredible colour payoff that just catches the light, adds a little bit of glow, adds a little bit of interest. I'm truly obsessed. If it wasn't like 30 quid to get one of these shipped to me from America, I think I would just get a new one every week because they're absolutely beautiful, and there's so many shades. If you like colour or if you like more neutral tones, there's so many different shades. You can get whatever you want. They're absolutely beautiful, and I cannot stop wearing this one in particular. It's just beautiful. So again, same as the brows, I don't feel like I necessarily do anything differently with my lashes because my skin is so dry. So I have a few different mascaras that I absolutely love. I'm going to use this one today, the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. So again, I will be right back once I have built up lots of volume with mascara. So then, to finish off the face, if you feel like you want a little bit more glow, but you don't necessarily want to add like a powder highlight, obviously a powder highlight is going to be glowy, it's going to be intense. However, you can go in with the filter finish again, or whatever highlighting base product it was that you started with, and I like to take this on my hands, on the like pad of my thumb, tap a little bit onto there, smush it in between my hands on the other thumb, make sure I have like the same amount on both sides, and then tap over the high points of the face again with your hands, and that just adds more glow and just blends it out into the skin, melts it right into all of those other products. Even if you've used like a powder blush or a powder bronzer or anything, I have done this over the top of that. You can add it wherever you want it, and it just sinks in instantly, leaves the skin looking even more glowy, and it just melts it in so perfectly. And that's like the perfect shape. Your inbuilt beauty blenders just pushes the product in so beautifully and makes it look so flawlessly glowy. Then for the lips, using a really long-lasting lip liner with more of a hydrating lipstick is always going to leave your lips feeling really nice and hydrated, but also leave you with that colour all day long. And this is by far, by a country mile, this is my favourite lip liner. So this is the Essence 8 Hour Matte Comfort lip liner, and it truly is comfortable. This is in the shade 04 Rosy Nude. This is the creamiest lip liner you will ever use. I've tried many. So many of them are like dry and scratchy on your lips. This one is so creamy, but the colour lasts all day, no matter what like lip gloss or whatever you put on over the top, and this colour is just perfect for me. So I'm going to draw on the lips. I will also say, normally at the beginning I put a lip balm on before I do anything else, like with my skincare, and I forgot today. But that's a good tip as well. I normally do that, but I forgot. So that's the lip liner on, and it is matte. It is a matte lip liner, but it's so easy to draw on, it's so creamy, and like I say, this colour will last all day. So over the top of the lip liner, again, I've got a few choices. I really love, if you want a matte lip, if you want that matte look but that is comfortable, the MUA Creamy Matte Lipsticks. These are so affordable. They are matte, so they are going to feel a little bit more drying. However, the colour payoff with these is absolutely like insane. Like one swipe and you have such an incredible amount of pigment. I like using a matte lipstick because I like that amount of colour. However, I don't like having the feeling of a matte lipstick on, so I like using one of these and then putting like a lip gloss on over the top. However, if you don't want to do that, you just want one product, I would say that these two are like my most used at the minute. So this is the Essence Caring Shine Vegan Collagen Lipstick. This is in the shade 202 My Mind, and I will swatch that next to that one, and you'll see it's a little bit sheerer, it's a little bit more glossy feeling in that it has obviously all of those lovely hydrating ingredients, feels a little bit more like a lip balm but has that beautiful colour in it. It's a lot more sheer than a lipstick, but it does give you that really nice wash of colour and feels incredible on the lips. And then the other products that I wanted to talk about is the e.l.f. Lip Lacquer. Again, I've got a few shades of this, but this is the one that I brought over, Whisper Pink. These feel like a lip gloss, but they have a really soft, I mean, I didn't bring the best one over because this is my skin tone, but it does have a really soft amount of colour in it, and this is the one that I'm going to use today. Actually, I will just tap a little bit over the lips like So, and these feel thicker than a regular gloss. It feels really hydrating, smooths out all of like the lines and things that you get in your lips when they're incredibly dry, but it has that nice amount of colour, and that with a lip liner, so as you are like going about your day, the lip gloss does sort of wear off, but the liner stays put, and obviously you can just keep on reapplying this if you want that hydration again throughout the day. And these are my products that I recommend. So let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other products that you love for dry skin, if there's any other techniques that you like doing for dry skin. Do let me know. Of course, I am always looking to improve my makeup game with exceptionally dry skin, so let me know what your tips and tricks are as well. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, but until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye!